Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the ADDIESDIVE 2035. Let's start out with the wrist check. I figured since this ADDIESDIVE has a Ronda 515, I'd show my other watches with the Ronda 515. I have my Fossil LE 1100 with the Batman bezel, all titanium. And Greg was wearing my Sterling Aqua Diver with the Pepsi bezel. I took Grogu to his first baseball game. I told him I was going to buy him some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. He said Cracker Jacks already have peanuts in them, so why not buy him some frog eggs and Cracker Jacks? I said, frog eggs? Blah. Are you trying to give me a 7th inning retch? Alright, let's take a look at the watch. This being an ADDIESDIVE, it comes in this nice plastic case. I really like these cases. Not only do they protect the watch very well, they stack really nice in the shelf. And it's a great place to keep all the paperwork and the unsigned warranty card and your extra links in a nice little convenient place. And here's the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? I really like it. This ADDIESDIVE is fairly new and is bucking the trend of the AliExpress GMT watches using the new Seiko NH34 movement. As you can tell by the ticking second hand, this is a Quartz watch and uses the ever-reliable Ronda 515. The ad specifies Swiss Ronda, and Ronda is indeed a Swiss company, but they also have factories in Thailand where some movements are assembled with Swiss parts, and some are assembled without Swiss parts. I will open the case back later and show you which one it is. This is an homage to the Tudor Black Bay Pro, which of course resembles a Steve McQueen Rolex Explorer 2, which is a watch that Steve McQueen never owned, but once casually mentioned he liked. The Steve McQueen generation of Explorer 2 has a much more subdued font on the bezel than the current generation. Tudor only makes the Pro in black, and ADDIESDIVE is so far only making this one in black. Unlike the Tudor, this watch is only offered on the metal bracelet, which is fine for me. I always recommend the bracelet over a strap unless the watch is ultra affordable and the quality of the bracelet is in question. The watch is 39.8 millimeters wide at the bezel, but 39 millimeters if you measure at the case because the bezel overhangs just a little bit. It's 48.5 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. It's 12.4 millimeters thick, but that includes this dome crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and weighs 125 grams on the supplied bracelet with 2 links removed. So that's pretty light for a solid steel watch of this size. The bezel is a 24-hour fixed bezel. The Explorer 2 was never meant to be a GMT watch. It was meant to be a watch where you could tell AM, PM because you were inside of a cave. Rolex eventually switched it to the GMT movement, but it was never meant to be a GMT. But this one says GMT, but no, the bezel does not rotate. It's a nice looking bezel. Once again, it has the subdued font, which matches the Tudor Pro. Then we have the dial. The dial is a flat black with no sunburst effect. Then it has the ADDIESDIVE name and logo up top, printed. Then it says GMT Deep Sea Hunter, 200 meters, 660 feet on the bottom. The indices are painted on, not applied. I don't see any metal border or anything like that. And then we have the chapter ring with the minute markers. Then we have the fully loomed hands. We have the fence post minute hand and the snowflake hour hand. Then we have a snowflake second hand and a snowflake 24-hour hand. And these are all fully loomed also. You'll see later in the loom test. Then we have a signed screw down crown. The action's really good. You don't feel a lot of thread resistance. Pops nicely. And it catches right away when you go to screw it back down. The crown's a little short though. You don't get much of a grip on it. I wish the crown was a little taller, but that's no big deal. Then we have a domed, and I'm pretty sure this is double dome because I don't see any distortion. This is a glass crystal though, it's not sapphire, but it does have AR coating. I don't know why they really needed AR coating on a glass crystal, but they did. So you see the little blue tint, that's the AR coating. Not sure why they didn't go sapphire. Most watches in this price range are sapphire. I don't mind glass. I've never had a difficulty with glass. One thing though, this is dome though, so you will bang this around, so you might scratch it. Then we have the case. The case is really nice. It's brushed, but it has a chamfered edge. Really good finish work. Brushed on the bottom also. But yeah, I like this case. It's nice and slim. Then we have a screw down case back. We have the ADDIESDIVE logo in the middle. Then it says all stainless steel. Then it says Deep Sea Hunter Sport Diving Divers with an apostrophe S, which is a mistake because you can only use the apostrophe S if it's a ISO 6425 certified diving watch, and this is not. Even there's no way it would ever pass because it doesn't have a loom pip or a timing bezel, so that's just not it's not a diver's watch, so that's a mistake there. They never should have done that. And then it says all stainless steel, and it is all stainless steel. Underneath the case back is the Ronda 515 24H. This is a 1 jewel quartz movement, and I went ahead and popped the case back to see if it was Swiss made or Swiss parts. And as you can see, it says Swiss parts. So that means it was assembled in Thailand, but with Swiss parts. So you have to ask yourself, are the Swiss really any better at putting together a quartz movement with the same exact parts as their Thailand counterparts? I don't think so. The bracelet is an oyster style 3-link, where it's not fully articulating. The center links are attached to the side links. But yeah, we got solid end links there, and they're inverted. And we have push pins, not screw pins. I'm perfectly happy with push pins. To me, they're just easier than screw pins. And I don't have to worry about them coming out on me like I do screw pins. And then we have the clasp. This is the newer style clasp from ADDIESDIVE. It's very similar to the one they made for Steel Dive. And it's signed where ADDIESDIVE never used to sign their clasps. And it's milled. And it has 6 holes of micro adjust, so you should be able to get the perfect fit. I removed 2 links to fit on my wrist, but then I moved it in 2 holes of micro adjust too. So actually it's kind of like I removed 3 if I would have kept it at the end. So you should still be able to wear this if you have a fairly big wrist. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks and wears really nice. Look at that, nice and flat on the wrist. Those inverted end links, it just hugs your wrist. Nice wrist roll. Clasp looks nice. It's just a really great looking watch. Here we are in the Loom room. Just wearing the watch, I could tell it had great Loom, and ADDIESDIVE always seems to have great Loom anyway. As we speed up the time, everything is glowing like a torch. This is indeed first-rate Loom, and the best part is that the hands are a bit stronger than the indices because it is really irritating when it is the opposite. The 24-hour hand is also loomed and is as strong as the other hands. As time goes by, we see the minute and second hand aren't quite as strong as the hour hands, but still very well done for a watch under $100. What do I like about this watch? Well, it has stunning looks and wearability. Has the newer ADDIESDIVE clasp with 6 holes of micro adjust. It's super comfortable to wear and has awesome Loom. What are my gripes and groans? It says divers with an apostrophe S on the case back, and this is not ISO certified. And that's about it. That's my only real complaint. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, this watch is great. If I could only own one watch, this would be a contender. If you want a great looking watch with a GMT hand and don't mind that it is a quartz, then this watch will do you no wrong. Well, thank you for watching my review of the ADDIESDIVE 2035, and I will be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.